Hey there everybody, Pete Pardo here with Sea Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Top 10 Songs. Today we're going to kind of continue on with our look at some great Canadian bands from the past. This particular one, been asked for by a bunch of you. It's a band I like quite a bit. We're talking about Moxie, all right? A band who kind of burst on the scene in like the mid-70s. Had a couple of really strong albums and then, just kind of fizzled away. But some really great songs on those couple albums. So they've got their first four albums are the first three are great. The fourth one is decent. Then they kind of split up for a while, regroup with different singers, and so on and so forth. A lot of stuff that kind of happened sporadically over the years after those first four albums. But I'm going to concentrate only on those first four, all right? Because that's all their best materials from there. So, and ironically, the majority of my top 10 is made up of songs from the first three, and mostly made up of songs from that debut album, which is just absolutely killer. One of the best debut albums ever in hard rock history. So let's get started here with number 10. Going to go to the Moxie 2 album, okay, the second album, Wet Sweet. Kind of a real cool, like funky hard rock tune with lots of nasty slide guitar. Always really dug that. Very lively track off a very strong sophomore album. Number 9, to the debut. All right, the kickoff track, Fantasy. Really cool, kind of moody rocker with some really interesting slide guitar from Tommy Bolin. Okay, history has it that Tommy Bolin was actually working on his first solo album in the studios right next door to where these guys were recording. He liked what he was hearing, so they kind of invited him in to play guitar solos. So you got Tommy Bolin on guitar solos for the majority of that first album. He wasn't a member of the band, but he contributed lots of really great guitar licks and solos on that first album. So Fantasy, number 9. Coming in at number 8 from the second album again, Through the Storm. Another really good hard rocker. These bands are just really good at energetic, crunchy, hard rock tunes. Very melodic, too. A little bits of boogie here and there. Great vocals from Buzz. What the hell was his name? Buzz Shearman. Okay. Coming in at number 7 from their third album, Riding High, which for my money, might be better than the second album. All right? Might be their second best album next to the first one. Rock Baby. Another barnstorming heavy rock tune. That really lively, some really great dual guitar riffing and solos on that. Number 6, also from that same album, Young Legs. Killer riff on that song. I always love the production on those first 3 Moxie albums, just really great. If you're looking for like 70s style hard and heavy rock guitar playing, cranked up Gibson Les Pauls, you got to check out Moxie. Telling you, great stuff. All right, now we've got a host of tunes from that first album. The first album is just incredible. All right, so coming in at number 5, we got Time to Move On. Don't want to move on too fast from that song because it's a gem. Number 4, Out of the Darkness. Killer, people. Coming in at number 3, again, if you just love cranking riffs, slamming rhythm section, great vocals, and just kind of fist pumping, bang your head type of material. Moonrider, another standout track from that debut. Coming in at number 2, sticking on the debut, Still I Wonder. Just such a great song. And coming in at number 1, which was, I believe, released as a single. I don't know how well it did. Well, I know there was I believe these guys did really well in like Texas radio and on the live circuit. I believe the San Antonio area really kind of embraced Moxie and various big city outlets throughout the U.S. But overall, they were not a known quantity here in the U.S. But in some markets they were. And I Can't You See I'm a Star is my favorite Moxie tune. And what's funny about it is it was released as a single, but it's a pretty heavy tune. And although it's got some hooks, it's not your like prototypical hit single choice in my book. But as far as like, one of the most blistering rockers on that first album, hell yeah, it's a great one. Again, just real tumultuous riffing and great vocals from Buzz and stinging lead guitar from Tommy Bolin. It's just a wonderful, wonderful song, a great headbanger, and again, kind of for me, caps off what is a fantastic debut album where basically any of those tunes could have just been my top 10, right? So it is what it is. It happens sometimes, right? It's kind of like with the whole Montrose thing, right? And again, I kind of liken Moxie a little bit to Montrose. That first album, the first Montrose album and the first Moxie album, are kind of similar, style-wise, sort of. Also, for me, I hear a little bit of, I think Riot, got a lot from Moxie as well. If you like kind of that early Riot stuff, a great U.S. hard rock band, I think they kind of took a little bit from the Moxie formula, a little bit, because I hear some similarities there. But anyway, regardless, great couple albums from Moxie. So let's go down some honorable mentions. All right, back to that first album, which came out in, they originally released in Canada in '75, released worldwide in '76. Not much left, right? Sail On, Sail Away is a great tune. Train is also very good. From Moxie 2 from 1976, Take It or Leave It, very strong song. The instrumental Slippin' Out, and Midnight Flight, which I had in my early top 10 and it got booted. From 1977's Ridin' High, how about Nothing Comes Easy? Sweet Reputation, Symphony for Margaret, another strong tune. The title track, Ridin' High, that's another one that I kind of wanted to squeeze into my top 10 somewhere because it's raucous, raw, full of energy. And then Are You Ready? Okay. And from the 1978 album Under the Lights, which Buzz had left the band, so coming in on vocals, a guy named Mike Reno, who many of you would know later came to fame with Loverboy, right? So with the new singer in the band, stylistically a little bit different, some good rockers on there, pretty solid album. A step down from the three that came before, but some pretty strong tracks. High School Queen is a lot of fun. Under the Lights, the title track, is a great song, and that's kind of like the most Moxie-ish from the first couple albums on this album, because the rest of the album is a little more commercial sounding, a little more melodic, but Under the Lights is a great tune, and that was in my early top 10, but I was like, God, how can I put that song, as good as it is, ahead of any of those other tunes, those classics from those first couple albums? So it ultimately got booted for an extra track for the first Moxie album. It's the way it goes. Sailor's Delight is a really good, catchy tune. Thinking About You, another kind of good, moody rocker that's got some light and soft moments and some thunder as well. And then Easy Come, Easy Go, which is a really cool, catchy, hard rock tune. So some really solid stuff. I would say if you're new to Moxie, those 4 albums is probably all you need to do. So go ahead and listen to those, and I would say the first album by far is the strongest. I kind of like the third album, Ridin' High, a little bit more than the second one. Moxie 2 is very strong as well. You can't go wrong with either one, though. And then fourth is definitely Under the Lights. Anything after that, I've only heard bits and pieces of it. I don't own any of that kind of stuff. So that's really all you need from Moxie. And again, you could probably just get away with those first 3 albums, although I think the fourth album has plenty of merit. You got Mike Reno, again, on vocals, who probably not as good a fit as Buzz was. And Mike would obviously go on to much bigger things with Loverboy. So let's count down my top 10 again. Can't You See I'm a Star from the first album. Still I Wonder. Moonrider. Out of the Darkness. Time to Move On. Young Legs. Rock Baby. Through the Storm. Fantasy. And coming at number 10, Wet Sweet. A lot of great material there. A lot of good hard rock tunes from Canada's Moxie. Make sure you go check them out. Go here on YouTube. If you haven't heard any of this stuff, just start listening to these albums. I think you can find all 4 of them in their entirety here on YouTube. Check them out. Really good stuff if you don't have them already. Also, while you're at it, visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the mighty YouTube as often as possible. Lots more stuff coming up. I'm going to be working on a Frank Marino Mahogany Rush Top 10 Songs sometime soon. Chris Allo and I are going to be doing Dio, the band, Top 10 Songs this weekend. Going to try and see if I could squeeze in a questions and answers this weekend. And then Steve Keeler and I will have for you starting next week some cool top 10 songs for The Doors and Testament and the Rolling Stones. And we've talked about doing Santana and a couple other things. So we got guest star Orama coming up in the weeks ahead. And I've got all sorts of other things that I'm working on. So some new product shows. Got some cool stuff that's been coming in recently I want to talk about. And, geez, what else? And I'm appearing on next Monday's Music Without Boundaries show hosted by Jeff Young, ex-Guitar Slayer from Megadeth. So make sure you don't miss that. 10:11 Eastern Standard Time, 7:11 Pacific Time. Check it out. Jeff and I will be spinning some tunes, talking shop, talking lots of music, and just having a grand old time. So don't miss that either. JeffYoungJams.com. So till then, stay tuned. We'll see you real soon, guys. Bye-bye.